What's up, YouTube? It's your boy RushMoreRick, and we're back. Another week of reactions. Today, right now, what we're about to dive into, the 7 deadly sins as rappers. Let's tap in.
7 rappers who together perfectly represent the 7 deadly sins, and I'll be covering them all, starting with the sin of lust. Lust is described as an inordinate craving for the pleasures of the body. A rapper who embodies lust to the fullest extent is none other than Future. Future is a rapper who's been in the game for over a decade and has become infamous for his toxic nature when it comes to women.
She belongs to the streets.
The music streaming service Tidal calls him the king of toxic and state that his music ranges from lyrics about infidelity to sexual prowess and pleading to exes that have moved on. Speaking of his exes, Future actually had children with a lot of them, having 8 kids in total, with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, but 8 different baby mamas with no marriages involved.
I get it. You know what I'm saying? I do get it. I understand. No. I'm not going to say I understand, but I do get it. But at the same time, a lot of people got to understand that when you do stuff like this, you're doing more harm than good. You know how many, and I'm not saying, right? Obviously, he put himself in a situation where he's extremely successful. You know what I'm saying? He's a multimillionaire, platinum recording artist. So he has the money. He has the finances to do shit like this. But at the same time, you're not raising, you know what I'm saying? I feel like a man's role in a young child's life is to be there as much as you can. Now, if you have 8 different children with 8 different baby moms, it's like, it's not, nigga, you're not 8 futures. There's not 8 futures. There's only one of you. And I feel like you gotta be there for your children. Your children gotta like grow up with you around them. That's how they turn out the right way, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now, maybe he found some secret formula, some secret method where it's like, all right, let me just, you know what I'm saying, drop offspring here, and I'm having children with women who can take care of themselves, who can hold the household down. And the only thing I got to do is provide the finances and they'll be all right. But I feel like that's not a way to raise a child, because your children are going to, some of them, maybe not all of them. You know what I'm saying? When you're in a rich household, maybe you don't have the same thought process as us normal human beings. But you would think, right, growing up, you were like, damn, my dad was never really there because he was having relations with other women across the country. He wasn't watching me grow up. He didn't. I don't want this video to be super duper long, so let's tap in.
Marriage he was involved in is that of NBA legend Scottie Pippen,
ranting, bro.
as Future had a brief relationship with his wife Larsa while they were at a rough point in their marriage. Some speculate that it was the reason for their eventual divorce. Another situation Future is infamous for is when he had an Instagram model fly out to him, then ghosted her after she didn't want to get intimate. He had told her that he wanted to see her and that he'd pay her back 1,000% of the flight cost when they met up. But after she arrived at the hotel, he told her to wait for him with lingerie on. The woman refused and then asked if she'd still be seeing him at all, to which Future responded with, "I'm good, love, enjoy."
I left her sitting at the low zone cause she wasn't touching the toes, no.
All of Future's lustful infamy led to a trend being created where people place his face over a top.
And it's crazy how, you know, he not held accountable for his behavior, because, like, let's be real, it's men who look up to this nigga who aspire to be as toxic as him. There's women who hear stories like this, and guess what? It only adds to the mystique of him. They want to be that woman that is around him, that is with him. So I don't understand. Like, it's like both genders is kind of fucked up, because you idolizing a person who clearly doesn't have good morals. He made good music, but you got to separate the art from the artist, separate the art from the person. Future, the person, is a terrible dude. It's terrible dude, but people still glaze him because, you know what I'm saying, the men want to be him or the women want to be around him.
Toxic quote about
Call
women.
a spade a spade.
Future has actually embraced this trend, showing off some of the quotes himself during a show.
She got 100 dudes trying to be the solution. Stand up. Be proud.
It looks like Future has no plans on changing his lustful ways anytime in the near future. Someone who doesn't have a future because they were killed is the rapper I chose to represent the sin of wrath. Wrath is defined as uncontrolled feelings of anger, rage, and even hatred. A perfect match for this description is the rapper King Von. King Von was a rapper from Chicago, Illinois, who's largely considered one of the most influential figures in the drill genre. He was known for his skillful lyricism and storytelling, as well as the aggressive style he delivered it with. He frequently rapped bars involving heinous crimes such as murder, but it was his involvement in crimes away from music that really show off the full capacity of his wrath. Von first started getting involved in local gang politics when he was only in 4th grade and was bringing guns to school by the age of 13. His first run-in with the law came at age 16 when he was charged with armed robbery in 2011.
I will say, because I want to pause a little bit and talk about him too. I think I'm gonna pause and talk about every artist. When I first started listening to Von, mind you, I'm not a street nigga at all. I'm from the hood, grew up in the trenches, but I was never in that lifestyle. But it's certain, we all can agree, it's certain songs that we listen to where like certain people are able to put you in that mindset. I feel like it's Von, Youngboy, Dirk, some of Dirk songs. They able to like put you in that mindset of what they were feeling at the time of when they recorded that song. And I will tell you, before I really educated myself on Von's upbringing and like the life that he was actually living, like dude make good music, but this nigga was evil. Like when I'm saying hopped off the porch at a young age, you know what I'm saying, he lost his best friend right in front of his face, and then ever since that point, that nigga was just outside doing like the most evil shit. And like you could tell that he lived his life with no regrets. He didn't regret taking as many lives as he did, allegedly or unallegedly. But like it's a lot of these rappers. It's not a lot of rappers, but when you find one that actually lived the shit that they talking about in their raps, it kind of go from damn this nigga hard to damn this nigga is evil as shit. Damn, this nigga need to be locked up. And look, that's how. Rest in peace to the guy, but just like, look at the result of him losing his life. Just as that type of rapper who was always on that timing. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that.
11, apparently robbing someone for their car at gunpoint. He was arrested again in November of 2012 for shooting at members of the Gangster Disciples, a rival of Von's Black Disciples gang. On April 29th, 2014, Von was arrested and charged with first-degree murder and 2 counts of aggravated assault, but was released the next day due to inconsistencies in the witness statements. Just 3 months later, Von was charged with 1 count of first-degree murder and 2 counts of attempted murder in connection with a shooting that killed 1 and injured 2 others. He was acquitted of the charges over 3 years later and was released on December 6th, 2017. Later, in June of 2019, Von and fellow O-Block rapper Lil Durk were arrested in connection with the shooting in
my whole thing is these niggas lawyers cannot be that good, bro, because there's no way if I'm a judge or if I'm anybody of importance in the Supreme Court and the same niggas keep ending up in my courtroom for similar, you know what I'm saying, similar occurrences, whether it's murders, is robberies, is shit like shit that follows that path. It's no way I'm like, all right, this nigga I keep acquitting him. He keeps beating the system. How? I never understood how. Like, are y'all not able to look at some niggas and like, yo, I'm looking at him in the eye and it's nothing there. Like, you could tell this nigga don't have a soul. You could tell this nigga is a demon personified in the flesh, a demon in the human flesh, a person who if I put him back on the street, he's going to take more lives. You know what I'm saying? I get that you gotta, you know what I'm saying, you follow the justice system where you say innocent until proven guilty, but some niggas is just like, you could look at him and you could tell this nigga is evil, bro. And Vaughn was one of them ones. Like, he really was.
In Atlanta. Prosecutors claim that the two rappers robbed and shot a man outside a popular drive-in on February 5th, 2019. After weeks in jail, Durk was released on a $250,000 bond, and Vaughn was released on a $300,000 bond. The crimes I've covered so far are just the ones Vaughn was charged for, as after his passing, he was accused of ones even more heinous. In April 2023, the YouTuber Traplore Ross uploaded a 4-hour long...
Yo, if y'all never... I would like to react to something like that, but that shit's too long. But if y'all ain't never tap into Trap Lil Ross, bro, shout out to bro, because he makes some good ass think pieces. And like, you may see it like 3 hours and 36 minutes. It's a little crazy, but like when you're listening to it, that shit go by like this, because you're just, you know what I'm saying, you putting yourself into that mindset, that mind space where you learning about the mentality of some of these niggas. Like, it's a good video. It's a good video.
Long documentary about King Von, calling him rap's first serial killer. The video was filled with evidence linking Von to the murders of at least 10 people, including the murders of P5, Modell, Malcolm Stuckey, and Gakira K.I. Barnes. Chicago authorities actually concluded in 2021 that Von was indeed responsible for the murder of Gakira Barnes. In addition to the 10 murders he was alleged to be the perpetrator of, he was also documented as the mandator to several other gang-related murders. According to the YouTube documentary, Von's primary motive to commit murder was initially a result of gang disputes, but was later being done simply for thrill. All the wrath Von had expelled seemed to have gone full circle, as his own life was taken in similar fashion to how he allegedly took lives, via a shooting. King Von was buried on November 14th, 2020 in his home city of Chicago. Another rapper that's from Chicago is the one I selected for the sin of pride. The definition of pride is believing that one is essentially better than others, failing to acknowledge the accomplishments of others, and excessive admiration of the personal self. No rapper fits this description better than that of Kanye West. Kanye is one of the most accomplished artists of all time, and he's notorious for praising himself to the public, causing many to label him as a narcissist with a massive ego.
My greatest pain in life is I will never be able to see me perform.
He's called himself the greatest artist of all time on multiple occasions.
Now, the irony of this video, this that we reacted to right now, it came out a year ago. So mind you, none of the shit that's going on right now involving Kanye West won't be in this, but it's just ironic how, you know what I'm saying, he is the sin of narcissism. Kanye is, he allowed himself to be bigger than his art, and that is right now the downfall of his career. The man is off his I don't know if he's on medication. I don't want to just say that, but clearly he's off of something where he's just saying the most outlandish shit. Like, I don't know if it's for shock factor or shock value or rage bait or clickbait. Some of it may be, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think this nigga genuinely believes some, like, I want to say like damn near 70-80% of the shit that he is saying. And the shit that he's saying is crazy as hell. And it's just ironic that for him to be in this portion of the video at this time that came out a year ago, I wonder if this nigga dropped something Kanye related today. Like he's seeing this and it's like he called it. So this is a one-on-one shot in the dark right here.
Occasions, like when he referred to himself as
the greatest artist that God has ever created.
On the topic of God, Ye has labeled himself as a god multiple times and even has an entire song doing so titled I Am a God.
I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am.
Ye also has an entire song about himself titled I Love Kanye. Oh, and the album that the song is on, Ye called it the best album of all time. On another song from the same album titled Famous, Kanye takes credit for Taylor Swift's rise to fame, citing his 2009 interruption of her VMA speech as the catalyst for her fame. Kanye had a very similar onstage incident in 2006 after losing out on an EMA award.
Oh, hell no! This video costs $1 million, fam! If I don't win, the award show loses credibility. I appreciate it, man. You know, it's nothing against you. I've never seen your video. It's nothing against you. But hell no, man.
Ye also has a reputation for constantly delaying
the boldness to get up and stay like. And the thing is, I guarantee he don't feel embarrassed. Like, I feel like if you put yourself in situations like that, it's no point in even feeling embarrassed. There's no embarrassment there. There's no thought of feeling embarrassed. Like, you put yourself in front of millions of people, well, thousands of people in attendance, and then millions of people on the internet, and you just do shit like that. This nigga is crazy, bro.
Music and being late to scheduled events, and continued lateness is actually a showing of pride, as it tells those who must wait that their schedules are not a priority.
You should be honored by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit.
One thing you can't say, this nigga, like, during that time where he was like really making hits, like, I still bump this nigga to this day. I don't bump none of his newer shit like that. Like, he got some good newer songs, but like all his old shit, you know what I'm saying? His music is gonna withstand the test of time. Cause, like, you know what I'm saying, music, it transcends whatever the fuck the person that made it got going on. You know what I'm saying? Your favorite song right now could be made by a person who just comes out to say the most evil and vile and disrespectful things. But I guarantee if that song was to come on while you in the car, you're gonna listen to that song, because music is an art that transcends whatever is going on in current time. That's why I love music so much.
Despite Kanye's pride causing him to be labeled as a controversial figure to the masses, he's still one of the biggest artists on the planet, with a cult-like fan base that is still constantly growing to this day. Something else that's constantly growing is the discography of the rapper I have representing the sin, gluttony. Gluttony is characterized by a limitless appetite and overindulgence to the point where one is no longer consuming just to live, but rather living to consume. A rapper who expresses gluttony by constantly consuming beats and releasing music is NBA Youngboy. Youngboy is a Louisiana rapper who's infamous for the absurd amount of music he puts out. He started writing and making music at the young age of 14, eventually dropping his first mixtape in April of 2015. Since then, in just an 8-year span, Youngboy has released a mind-boggling 26 mixtapes, 102 singles, 6 studio albums, 3 compilation albums, and 3 EPs.
And you can't even really be mad at that. Yes, this nigga puts out a lot of music, but at the same time, you hear that often in certain spaces where you in order to grow, you gotta oversaturate your market. I kind of want to take that approach to like YouTube and reaction videos. You know what I'm saying? The more reaction videos you put out, the more chances somebody has to find you. The more chances somebody has to resonate with what you're producing, what you're putting out. So yes, gluttony is a sin, but at the same time, for certain people, it works out in a good way, because you ever discovered an artist and like, damn, he only got 5 songs, and I only really like 2 of them. Damn, he only got 1 album. I wish he dropped more. There's certain artists who are like that, like Playboi Carti, for example. It's certain people who are as big as they are in their space because they either produce too much and you ain't got no choice but to grow on people because they hearing you often, or you got the person who don't produce enough. So you got people constantly begging and begging and begging. Oh, you got to drop this. You got to drop more. You got to drop more. We waiting on you. So I feel like it's a double-sided coin, but at the same time, Youngboy is one of the examples of a person who I'm going to put out as much volume as possible, and if it's good, so, like, a majority of it is good, people gonna fuck with it, and that's what happened.
This caused many to label his music as quantity over quality, as most other artists who make thousands of songs, like Juice WRLD for example, choose only to release a select few which they consider to be their best, rather than just putting out as much as they can. When asked why he releases so much music, Youngboy said, "It's a disease. Literally, I cannot help myself. I tell myself sometimes I'm not gonna drop until months from now, but it's addictive. I wish I knew when I was younger how unhealthy this was for me. The music is therapy, but I can't stop it when I want." In 2022, Youngboy challenged himself to release 10 mixtapes that year, but after 101 songs, including 7 mixtapes, he made a comment saying that he ran out of rhymes and asked for help. He ironically released another project just 10 days after making this comment.
Good ass tape right there.
While Youngboy's been scrutinized for his addiction to releasing music, it's also helped him become one of the most accomplished rappers in the game. He's constantly at the top of not just rap, but all genre, most streamed lists every year. He became the youngest artist to receive 100 RIA Gold or Platinum certifications at 22 years old, and became the youngest artist to chart 100 songs on the Billboard Hot 100.
It's like once again, I get that we, you know what I'm saying, the 7 deadly sins and we putting them in this category, but at the same time, this nigga ran it up. He found something that was therapeutic to him. He put his pain into it. And it's not like he was just putting out loads and loads of bullshit. Now, these past few years, yes. I ain't really listening to New Young Boy because it's, you know what I'm saying, this nigga, he putting out emo bullshit. And it's not me. It's not for me. I could tell. But this nigga, you know what I'm saying, he put his pain behind his lyrics and he ran up a bag and changed his life. And he's one of, like, people, he'll always have a fan base and one of the best fan bases. Like, you know what I'm saying? I low-key got to be careful talking about Young Boy too much because, you know what I'm saying, he got a cult-like fan base.
At 23 years old. The next rapper on my list has the exact opposite work ethic of Young Boy, and that's why the sin they're representing is sloth. Sloth is described as a reluctance to work or make an effort, also known as laziness. A rapper whose career quickly went downhill as a direct result of their sloth is Lil Xan. Lil Xan is a rapper from Redlands, California, who started making music in 2016 to buy a new camera after his had been stolen. Before even starting music, he already had a reputation for being lazy, skipping and failing all of his classes before dropping out freshman year.
I got an F in PE, and they're like, how the f you fail PE? And I was like, that shit easy, bro. I'm a lazy son of a bitch. So I failed every class up until I dropped out freshman year.
He wasn't a well-known artist until the release of the music video to his song Betrayed on the Lyrical Lemonade channel in 2017 that completely skyrocketed his career. The video quickly amassed hundreds of millions of views, and it seemed like he was bound for a successful career, but it turned out that he was too lazy to capitalize off of his newfound success. He failed to show up to numerous meetings with other big rappers, giving him an opportunity that could have greatly boosted his career.
He kept missing the meetings.
When he released his debut album in 2018, it was met with overwhelmingly negative reviews, as it was pretty obvious that he put little effort into the project.
I remember when Lil Xan's album came out, right? And I remember having a conversation with Stat and being like, what do you think of the album? Because it was pretty obvious that the album was bad and that he didn't put any effort into it. Xan put in like no work for the album. If it was up to Stat, Xan would have been sitting in the studio recording every night, and instead he was just doing drugs and having random ass girls come over every night.
In 2019, he was set to join
A victim of your own success.
Nicki Minaj and Juice WRLD on their month-long tour, but ended up only performing for one single show.
I remember that he was supposed to be on the whole tour and then he was only on it for like a week because he was tweaking out. They could never get Xan to do the shit that he actually had to do for his career.
For a time, Lil Xan expressed his desire to quit rapping and just become a public figure.
So that's why I'm not doing music. Like after I finished my contract with Columbia, I didn't sign up. Like I didn't know what I was signing up for. I'm more of a celebrity than a rapper at this point, so that's why I'm quitting rapping.
After all these years since 2018, he still hasn't released a second album, constantly giving contradictory statements about a release. He initially planned on releasing an album titled Be Safe in 2019, but the album entered production limbo and was eventually scrapped. In November 2019, he announced his next album would be titled When September Ends, and even showed off an album cover for it, but this also never saw a release. In January 2020, Xan announced that his album was finished and that it would be called Sorry I Didn't Quit. He once again revealed the album's cover and also its track list, but like usual, he didn't follow through, and the album never released. It took him almost 4 years since 2018 just to release another project, which was a measly 5-song collab EP. Due to his own actions, Lil Xan's career in the spotlight had almost no longevity, which is something that cannot at all be said.
I thought Lil Xan died. I might be misinformed, but I thought the reason why he didn't drop music was because he passed away. I thought he overdosed, but I could be wrong.
About the rapper I selected for the sin of envy. Envy is defined as jealousy over the blessings and achievements of others. A rapper that has been seen expressing these envious attributes on numerous occasions is Nicki Minaj. Nicki is widely considered to be one of the greatest rappers of all time, as she was the top-selling female rapper of the 2010s. Her massive success did not come without a fair share of controversy, as she's been the perpetrator of multiple feuds with other artists stemming from jealousy. Funnily enough, Nicki's journey in rap actually all began from jealousy, as her whole reason for writing her first raps was because her neighbor was a rapper and she wanted to show that she was better.
I was like 11 and I wanted to show the girl next door because she was like a good rapper and she thought she was so much better than me. So when she left, I went home and I wrote this little rap so I can like show her, and then I rang her bell and I started saying my rap and she just stood there like.
Nicki's most
That's kind of crazy. Like if you like, most people will get it, right? Sorry for being tongue tied. You know what I'm saying? I be having a lot going on up here, and this is faster than this, unfortunately. But I will say this: it's a lot of people who like, let's say not even people, rappers, musicians, artists. It's a lot of artists, right, who have these mentalities where it's kind of like you're fucked up, but you're successful. So it's kind of like you listen to them and like, I never knew that was her reason of becoming a rapper. Like, imagine you kind of owe your career to a girl that you were jealous of. And that we all know that girl is not as big as Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj took off. She's probably the most famous female, not probably, I think she is the most famous female rapper of all time. I don't think there will be another person who touches Nicki Minaj in my lifetime. I'm only 25, but I don't see, you know what I'm saying, female rap is only like, it is what it is at the same time until, you know what I'm saying, somebody who has the not only the replay value in music, but the image, the look, the delivery of a Nicki Minaj. It's not something that's just, you know what I'm saying, that's lightning in a bottle. Essentially, that's what she is. But it's just crazy how the one of the main reasons for you to start your profession and become the top of it is because you were jealous of your neighbor. That's kind of crazy. And then you hear stories about her and how she beefs with all the new artists, the new female upcoming artists. Like, she don't never really beat, like, she don't put nobody on. She did some shit with Ice Spice, but she knew Ice Spice ain't fucking with her. So of course she gonna put on. But anybody I think that she sees as a threat, she immediately, like how Cardi B and Nicki Minaj never really seen eye to eye, simply because Cardi B was one of the upcoming female rappers who had a chance. I think that chance passed. The window closed, honestly. But she was, when on Cardi B's rise, she had the potential to take Nicki Minaj's throne. She was one of the only female rappers who really came close. And you see how Nicki treated that situation. There was always beef. There's still beef. Look at Nicki Minaj. I think Nicki Minaj and Lotto, there's beef. Like, it's a lot of, Nicki Minaj has a lot of, whether it's public or not public, she has a lot of beefs in the female rap industry simply because she has the throne and she don't want to give it up. She don't want to put on the next woman, especially if that woman has the potential to pass her or surpass her in terms of numbers and metrics and shit like that.
This infamous example of envy came when rapper Cardi B stepped onto the scene. Many believe that
literally
that Nicki saw Cardi as a threat to her spot as the top female rapper and was jealous of the attention she was getting.
Literally.
According to Cardi and the evidence that backs her up, Nicki sneak dissed her, lied about her, and even threatened other artists to not work with her, all in hopes to crush her success. In 2018, when Travis Scott's Astroworld album was #1 in its second week over her new album in its first week, Nicki was furious and instantly went to calling Travis names and discrediting his placement at #1.
Whole nigga of the week, of course, is Travis Scott. But what we not gonna do is have this auto-tune man coming up here selling sweaters and telling y'all he sold 500,000 albums, because he didn't.
She simply could not accept the fact that his album was charted over hers. Earlier in 2023, Nicki got into a back and forth Twitter feud with City Girls rapper Young Miami over her using the wording "got into some things," which is something Nicki frequently says on her radio show. Young Miami said she definitely didn't get that slang from her, and she reportedly thinks the real reason Nicki called her out is because she was jealous of Young Miami's Carisha Please show, because her Queen radio show wasn't getting the same level of buzz on social media. Someone else who's been getting buzz on social media for their portrayal as a scammer is the rapper I picked to represent the sin, greed. Greed is described as a selfish and excessive desire to acquire something, usually pertaining to material wealth. A rapper whose whole identity is built off of the ideas of greed is Punch Made Dev. Dev initially
Yeah, this video already long as shit, and I don't really know who Punch Made Dev is. I heard of him. I heard he one of the rappers who teach niggas how to scam, and I ain't really into that. But that was the video, 7 Deadly Sins as rappers. As you can see, a lot of these rappers, a lot of these artists, a lot of these fucking famous people in general, they they have a certain thing about them that you know what I'm saying is bad, but they grow up in the spotlight and they blow up and become the celebrity that they are, is because they embrace the bad shit. You know what I'm saying? They embrace what people may deem negative about them. And I'm not saying that it's a positive thing that they do it. I ain't saying it's a negative thing that they do it, but you can see that a lot of them, they know themselves more than anybody know them. And you know what I'm saying? You reap what you sow in the end. But that was the reaction right there. Make sure y'all like, comment, and sub. Like, comment, and sub. We blowing up. We gonna blow. I'm telling y'all. And we gonna only do this together. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting out the videos. Y'all watching the videos. I appreciate y'all for interacting with me, whether it be on YouTube. I'm posting clips on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? We gonna blow up. We gonna do this together. But much love. Peace.